Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra Unit 2, Review B. Remember to show every step and to write your answers on the lines. Let's go ahead and get started. Number 1, which graph correctly represents the line x equals 2? Well, you should know by now if this is a horizontal or vertical line. So if you haven't thought of it yet, I know right away that it's a positive 2. So if it's a positive 2, I can get rid of any graph that is at negative 2. So what is it? Remember when the x is by itself that it makes a vertical line, okay? And remember the v in vertical goes up and down. So the correct answer is A. Okay, what is the x-intercept of the line negative 3x plus 8y equals negative 4? Remember your x-intercept is where y equals 0. So when I'm figuring this out, I would plug in 0 for y and solve. So 8 times 0 is 0, and we're left with negative 3x equals negative 24. And to get the x by itself, we have to divide by negative 3. So after dividing by negative 3, I get that x equals negative 24 divided by negative 3 is a positive 8. All right, and remember that x is 0, or x is not 0, Mr. Grice. X is 8 and y is 0. So that is the point 8, 0. I don't know why I wrote an 8. I should have written a D. All right, what is the slope rate of change of the function g of x if g of negative 2 equals negative 5 and g of 4 equals negative 1? So we need to use the slope. Okay, that's the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And if you don't see the points, you have to turn them into points. Okay, remember this is your x, this is your y, x comma y, and then we're just gonna use the slope equation. So I have negative 1 minus 5, so that turns into a positive 5. All right, and on the bottom, we have 4 minus negative 2, so it turns into 4 plus 2. Negative 1 plus 5 is 4, and 4 plus 2 is 6. Just remember that we always have to reduce our fraction, and when you reduce it, it turns into 2/3, so our correct answer is C. Okay, so we're doing the same thing with number 4. We're going to go ahead and pause the video, and you guys are going to figure this one out on your own. Good luck. Okay, and I got 5 over 0. So let's see. Well, I know it's not A or C, but is it 0 or undefined? So remember, when the 0 is underneath, it means it is undefined. So D is the correct answer. Now, another thing you could do is you could type it into your calculator. You would get an error, and when it's error, you know it's undefined as well. Okay, so we've really been slope. I think slope's kind of important. What is the slope of the line shown at the right? I think it's important to know what type of line this is, and this is a horizontal line. And a horizontal line has one of the special slopes, so I know it's not B or C. Yeah, it's 0, guys. It has a lazy line, so it's 0. All right, next one. What is the slope of the line below, as shown at the right? Now it might be hard to see any points, so I'm just looking for exactly where it's crossing and where it's touching. So you can use any of those points to figure out what the slope is. All right. The first thing that I notice is that it's a negative slope, so I can get rid of D. Okay. And I'm just going to pick one point. I go down 1 and to the right 2. So that means my slope is -1 over 2, which is option C. Okay, which graph correctly represents y equals 5 over 2x minus 4? So we need to know what is our slope and our y-intercept. Okay, so just looking at slope, I can see that C is falling. Okay, no, my graph isn't falling. At B, they started on the x-axis, and no, we start at the y-axis. Okay, so here we go. We're on the y-axis at -4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So I think we have a winner there, don't you? Now, if you just want to go back and double check the other one, we did start at -4, but then we go 1, ooh, we went 2. They did 2 over 5. Okay, so it's important to know that the top number, remember that's our rise or fall, and this tells me to go up 5 over 2. All right, which relations are also functions? Remember that we need to do the vertical line test to do this. So it just means that I can go anywhere and draw a vertical line, and no matter where I go, it touches once. So woohoo, I'm done, right? No, which relations? Okay, so looking at B, no matter where I draw the vertical line, B passes, and then C, no. So D is our correct answer, both A and B. The domain, keyword domain, of the relation includes all of the values listed below except for, So remember, domain is talking about all of our x values. So I'm just going to go through and do all the points. So this first point over here, we have -5, 0. And -5 is not on there, so that's okay. Right here, we have -3, 4, and hey, look, -3 is here, so I can cross -3 out. And we'll cross it out this way. Okay, my next point is the point 0, 2, and up, 0's here. After that, we have the point 2, -4, and they mentioned D. I don't think they mentioned this one, but let's just double check. This is 3, 5, and no, they don't mention A. Last page. See, this wasn't too bad. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's 3 pages. But they go by pretty quick. Which of the following expressions, I'm sorry, which of the following expresses x plus 2y equals 8 in slope-intercept form? So in slope-intercept form, remember it's y equals mx plus b. We need to solve for y. So we have x plus 2y equals 8. The first thing I need to do is get the x to the other side. So I'm going to subtract x. And we get 2y equals -x plus 8. And to get the y by itself, I have to divide everything by 2. So we get y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. And that is C. All right, so we get a lot of questions on number 11. A line has a slope of 3/5 and passes through the points 2, -7, -13y. And we have to figure out, hey, what is y? So to do this, we're going to set up our slope formula. I set up my slope, and I'm going to set that equals, and now I just start doing the formula. So that turns to y plus 7, and on the bottom, I have -13 minus 2. Okay, so first we set up, and now we simplify. So I have 3/5 equals y plus 7 over -15. Okay, we set up parentheses, and then we go ahead and multiply. 3 times -15 is -45, and I'm going to set that equal to 5 times y plus 7. Okay, and now we just solve. So that means I have to distribute the 5y. We get -45 equals 5y plus 5 times 7 is 35. And now we solve. So I'm going to subtract the 35 to both sides. -45 minus 35. What'd you get? No, that's the part where you do it in your calculator. Yeah, you should have gotten -80. And then to get the y by itself, I'm going to divide. Right now, I have a negative divided by a positive, so my final answer is going to be negative. So I'm going to get rid of those guys right now. And then we get -16 equals y. So D is our correct answer. Number 12, we have our function right here. F of x equals if f of x equals 3/4 x minus 5, find f of -8. So they gave us the x. So we go through and plug in the 8, the -8 for x. So f of -8 and f of -8. And now this is where we simplify. Okay, so 3/4 times -8 is -6. And -6 minus 5, we get -11. So my correct answer is D. So once again, they give us a function, g of x, but this time they're saying, hey, find the value of x so that g of x equals 20. So if they didn't give me the x, that means they gave me the y, okay? And when they give us the y, we plug it into the other side, and now we don't simplify. Yeah, now we solve. Okay, I want to solve for x. So that means I'm going to subtract the 8 to the other side. 20 minus 8 is 12. Now, right now I know that I'm dividing by a negative, and if I'm dividing a positive by a negative, I'm going to have a negative answer. And then 12 divided by -4 is -3. Oh my gosh, we're almost done. Almost there. Okay, so I have 1, 2 functions, and they're asking to do what between those 2 functions? Yeah, they want us to subtract those. Okay, so I'm going to write f of x first. That's the negative 3x squared plus 7x minus 4. And that is subtracted. We are subtracting 9x squared plus 7x. Okay, so I had f of x first, and then I wrote down g of x. Now we're going to subtract, and I'm going to distribute that negative to everything in the back. So the first part stays the same. That turns into a negative 9x squared and a negative 7x. Okay, and now we're looking to combine like terms. Okay, so I've got the negative 3 and the negative 9. That turns into negative 12x squared. I have positive 7 and negative. Ooh, what happens there? Yeah, those cancel out. And then the only guy that's left is the negative 4. So we're left with negative 12x squared minus 4. All right, last one. All of the ordered pairs listed below are part of the line y equals negative 6 except for, dun dun dun, which one? Well, just remember that no matter what, y has to equal negative 6. So let's just take a look at each of them. Does y equal negative 6? Yep. Does y equal negative 6? Yep. Does y equal negative 6? What about D? Yep. So C is the only one that had a different y value. Okay? So that means it can't be a part of that line. And guess what, guys? That's it. Yeah, that's it for Algebra Unit 2 Review B. If you need any extra help, please come find Ms. Carranza or myself. Otherwise, your test is tomorrow, so good luck. If you need help, come find us. This is Mr. Grice signing off. Thanks for watching.